Hello, and welcome to this week's Schreiber Council meeting. An assessment on the outdoor skating rink was presented to Council. Residents can expect to see an increase in their water and sewage bills next year, and the fire department report shows a slight increase in activity over last year. Now here is tonight's agenda. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to our November 26th Council and Committee of the Whole meeting. Before we begin, I would like to begin by acknowledging that we're in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory, and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. Call the open session to order. Can I get approval of the agenda?
There's one addition, to the agenda.
Yeah, can we add, just to further the discussion on the administration fee being added to.
Okay, and where do you want that?
I'm seeing committee of the whole.
With the whole?
Yeah.
Number 17 under department,
Yeah.
or no, or on
Unfinished business.
unfinished business number 2.
Okay. Business. B, have that one. And then you have one more one? No, you wanna add this? 350?
Three.
You can.
Oh, Tammy, that's right, Tammy had an addition. Yeah,
I can probably go cut you the whole, no?
yeah, that would be number 17.
What is it?
It's the report I gave you about the F-250.
Sorry, 250.
Oh.
Sorry, Tammy, I forgot.
Okay, approval of the agenda with 2 additions, the F-250, number 17 under department reports, and administration fee under unfinished business number 2. Hearing nothing else, any disclosures of interest? No disclosures of interest, no delegations,
No questions.
no questions. So we'll move right on to minutes of previous meetings. Resolution 305 -24. Moved by Councillor Bergeau, second by Councillor McGrath, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held November 12th, 2024 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 306-24. Moved by Councillor McGrath, second by Councillor Bryson, that the minutes of the special council meeting held November 18th, 2024 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Business arising from the minutes, committee of the whole recommendations. Resolution 307 24. Moved by Councilor Morrow, second by Councilor Burgeot, that council accept the fixed price quotation from Sergeant Propane in the amount of 0.595 cents per liter, excluding applicable taxes, for the supply of propane for the period of December 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2025. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 308 24. Moved by Councilor McGrath, second by Councilor Bryson, that council accept the quotation from Coal Darling Limited in the amount of $12,733 to replace the existing leaking boiler at the Public Works Garage. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 309 24. Moved by Councilor Burgeot, second by Councilor McGrath. That the council of the Township of Schreiber support resolution number 6 of the Corporation of the Township of Larder Lake with respect to the provision of a supplement to the allocations provided to municipalities under the Amos CCBBF agreement for 2024 to 2028 for the same amount that was allocated. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 310 24, moved by Councilor Bryson, second by Councilor Burgeot, that the council of the Township of Schreiber support resolution 2024-35 of the Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association with respect to the implementation of the Ontario Forest Industries Association's 2025 Ontario budget recommendations in support of attracting investment and maintaining forest operations and employment in Ontario. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. (311) 24. Moved by Councilor Morrow, second by Councilor McGrath, that council accept the quotation from Rosie's and Josie's Restaurant and Catering in the amount of $50 per person, including applicable taxes, to provide dinner for the 2024 Township Christmas Social. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 312/24. Moved by Councilor Bergeau, second by Councilor Bryson, that council accept the quotation from Nora Lloyd in the amount of $275, including applicable taxes, to set the tables for the 2024 Township Christmas Social. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. There is no accounts for payment, no unfinished business, no other business under, so we'll move under to committee of the whole portion of the meeting. So, first up, number one, CAO clerk report outdoor skating rink assessment.
So I just wanted council to be aware, because winter is approaching, I wanted to do a risk assessment and, just make council aware of what the risks are associated with having an outdoor rink that is unsupervised, being owned by the municipality. Provided council with a couple of case studies that I was able to receive from Intact Insurance. They do a lot of risk assessments. I did put together a proposed user guide that could be laminated and posted outside the rink, so that the potential users can follow direction on how to properly fix a crack in the ice or a chip in the ice once the township initially does the first flood, and how to report incidents, just if council decides to go ahead and proceed with the outdoor rink. There questions on the report?
Who fills out this month, if we're in post oil, who fills out this monthly inspection and log sheet, is that our guys?
It would be our guys once a
Volunteer
month,
person?
yeah, just making sure that there's no dangers there. But it does say clearly in the manual that the township will
Yeah,
not
I
be
know.
responsible for the maintenance of the ice.
I haven't figured that.
What's that?
I don't think our guys should be doing anything to that.
No, I mean,
That's fine.
I mean, I think the original question was, I would like to try and get a volunteer group going. Terrace Bay's outdoor rink is run by all volunteers. I mean, the initial flood would have to be, or any flooding would have to be, our guys or obviously the fire department. But other than that, I would like it volunteer run, so.
Yeah, and that's how it works in Terrace. All the township did was this year they put down some dirt to put a level ground for like my class set up for boaters.
Again,
And the community takes care of it.
again, we're short on staff, and not short on staff, that's just the way we run with 3 guys on public works and the recreation, and we're spread thin too. Well, everybody's spread thin. So I would like to
Maybe task Evan with
Get-
getting,
get something out on social media. Looking for a support group, volunteer group for the outdoor arena, and
So if Evan comes back with no one, then we're not flooding.
well,
That would be my suggestion.
we definitely would have to reevaluate at that time. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
correct, Dave.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think
that's just a waste of time.
I really think it's a great opportunity for some volunteers. Where I see some comments on social media where they say we could be doing this, could be doing that. Well, I think it's a great opportunity for some people to step up and help out the community and feel good about it. So if you could get Evan to,
For sure.
or
Yeah.
I
whoever
would think that would be
to,
your best bet.
Yeah, should be.
If it does proceed though, I would strongly recommend to council that we do, purchase 2 signs for the rink to be posted with the rules and regulations to take the liability off the township.
Cause that facility right now is in pretty good shape structurally and like as far as the boards and.
Oh, there's some damage, but I mean, I've seen a lot worse.
So there's much safer than the boards that put up
Yeah,
Okay, good to-
yeah.
The only other concern, I agree with you that this is exactly what you do. The only other thing I was going to ask, is there any concern with this intact document that we don't have lighting benches or waste receptacles down there?
It's
Pardon me?
hard to make it like.
I don't know.
There's lights.
There's lights.
Is it lit?
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Fair
I think it's lit till about 9 at night or something.
Yeah, I used
So
to
that there
I used
is
to live
lighting.
right there.
Is there a switch in the fire hall?
Yeah.
There's a switch in the fire hall. Are there benches down there?
Yep, and there's garbage. down
There should be a
And
guy.
there's garbage cans?
Yeah.
That was the only thing I was worried about, because in this list it said you're supposed to have it, yeah. Okay. So, Evan finds a group of volunteers and then we can reevaluate it and put Rhonda's plan together.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, number 2, treasurer report, water and sewer.
Okay, so, this is the 2025, operating budgets for water and sewer. The report is as a result of conversations during the closed session on November the 12th. What you have before you are, 2 scenarios, for water, the 2 scenarios are an 8% increase, and a 6.3% increase. For the sewer department, it's a 6.5% increase and a 9% increase. The majority, this most significant, reasons for the increases are the chemical costs, in both. And, general inflation, there's an annual increase to the auto contract. There was, further along on the agenda, you have the aqua requests for operating and capital. So those ones identified in blue on that document have been included in these, operating budgets for 2025. There was an addition for, we added a computer account in the water. There's a slight increase for taxation. Pretty much everything else is pretty standard in there. The transfer to reserve has been budgeted based on your asset management plan, which recommends a 4.2% levy increase to address annual capital funding gaps for water. For the sewer, the most significant, in addition to chemicals and other inflationary increases, there is a loan repayment that's been factored in here to cover the costs for the state of emergency at the wastewater treatment plant. There is we're anticipating a bit of an overage in the equipment due to resolution 20424, which was an emergency refer to the rate motor. And again, this transfer that's being suggested is a 4.5%. It's from your current asset management plan, which is a 4.5% levy increase. The scenarios during the financial impact, I used the 6.3% rate increase for water and the 9% rate increase for water. It equates to $114.72 over the January 1, 2024 rates as combined services. which comes out to $9.56 a month, based on a single-family dwelling. Your asset management plan identifies an annual overall funding deficit of 2.7 million. It also identifies that the average combined investment in water and sewer is 1.3, just over 1.3 million. The two budgets have a combined investment of 51,600, which leaves a funding deficit of just under 1.3 million. There is a attachment for is a copy of the draft 2025 water and sewer rate bylaw. There are some changes that are being recommended. Those being the change to the bulk water charge per liter and the minimum charge to reflect more of the cost, and clarification and increases to the labor charge to reflect current employee costs, staffing costs.
Anybody got any
So Arlene,
Thoughts?
just want to clarify this. So water is going to go up 6.3%, and 4.2% of that is just to be able to increase the amount that we're putting into reserves,
Yeah,
which is fine. So that leaves us with a 2.1% increase, and that's because we've removed some contingency money out to allow us to pay extra for chemicals.
yes.
And the sewer department has got a much deeper increase of 9%, but 4.5% of that is due because we have to keep putting money into reserve. The other 4.5% primarily comes from a new loan that the township is going to have to take out for the state of emergency because we have been unable to secure a grant.
That's correct.
So that's in a nutshell, that's what those two amounts come to.
That's correct. And the biggest thing is that what is being budgeted as a transfer to reserve of both departments is the minimum.
Is the minimum. But we haven't been doing that, so I mean, that's fine. So I'm good with that. I know we've had some discussion about that. We've looked at our budget variance. We're on track right now to be at the end of 2024 at a balanced position with what we said with our increases last year. I guess my one question I have is at the bulk, you're raising it 1,000%. So my question is why?
I will defer that to our director of operations.
We're charging 2 cents a liter, which doesn't even come close to covering the expense of having staff go and activate a fire hydrant, and you gotta stand there while it's loading, all of that kind of stuff. And comparable to other communities,
That's my question.
we were nowhere close to being in the market. So I have polled other communities, and this proposed price would put us more in the, still at the lower end, but more in the range of what the market value is.
So on average, what are our closest communities charging?
Terrace Bay charges per gallon.
Okay.
And Marathon charges per cubic meter, so there was some math that had to happen to make it comparable to what we're charging. And the only difference is Marathon charges a $55 administration fee on every water fill, and Terrace Bay and us don't do that.
Okay. And were we online with what Terrace Bay's charging for bulk water?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only questions I have. Unless somebody else has got questions. I just wanted to clarify those increases.
So, were you looking for a recommendation tonight, or?
If council is in agreement with the rates as presented, with the 6.3 for the water and the 9% for the sewer, which is what the draft Attachment 4 is the draft bylaw. If you're, it would be staff directed to bring forward the water and sewer, 2025 water and sewer rate bylaw to the December the 10th council meeting.
Okay. Do you feel with it, Anne Marie?
I don't like the increases, I don't, but given the state that our asset management that we have to do, I mean, I know it's 6.3 sounds like a lot, but it's actually all we're raising is 2.1%. And the cost of chemicals has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I would love to know that we could get a grant for the state of emergency, but we can't sit in the hole for that. We've got to make a contingency plan. We need to borrow money to pay that. And so I certainly don't like a 9% increase, but I kind of think in the situation we're in, I don't know. I mean, their suggestions started off much higher than this, and we've been able to bring it down to that. Personally, I don't see about dropping any lower. I don't know. Councillor Bryson?
I would agree, and dropping it any lower, how much? You know, I don't see how, I don't see what benefit we get by trying to be another.
Yeah, we're still not even close to what our asset management plan says we should be doing, so
You're correct.
Yeah.
if we follow that.
You know, we're trying to play catch up, and we got to start somewhere. So that's a huge amount of money to try to do what we're supposed to do with our asset management plan. So.
We raised the rates last year, right?
Right.
And we just had a budget variance report at our last meeting to say we're on track to have that balance. If I thought we had hundreds of thousands of dollars left over from that, I'd say, well, let's not do, but we don't. We're gonna be right on track, as the treasurer's reported to us, so.
I think we gotta go forward with it, and, I mean, everybody's gonna say,
It's
oh,
not
here
fair.
we go again, we're putting it up again, but you know what, it's $9.56 a month when it breaks down to it. Yeah, bring it forward for the December meeting. Okay, thanks for that report. Director of Operations, your status report.
So as you can see, the wastewater treatment plant, we're kind of at a standstill as far as repairs go. But we're waiting for the sludge return box to be completed before we bring the two side back online. However, automation now has been using this downtime on the two side to do all of their electrical work. And we're almost ready to go as far as the electrical goes on that side. We did receive another non-compliance under the wastewater system C of A. The running annual average for BOD and TSS had exceeded the limit again. I've attached the report for that. We did receive the drawings from GML Engineering for the senior renovation. So I've answered some of their questions, but more importantly, I'd like for council to have a look at the drawings that we've attached here. It's important that we get as many eyes on the drawings to make sure that all details are covered and we're not missing anything, which will make our contingency go that much further if we're bang on with their drawings.
So just take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd look for any feedback before the December 10th. I
Okay.
need to report back to JML, so have a
So-
look at it and report back to me if you don't mind.
Okay,
So, Tammy, is automation now back on track to be completed by December 31st?
No, However, I have heard back from, Tom, the inspector. He has been down several times since my email to him indicating that we would, be going past the deadline. He agrees that significant and impressive progress has been made down there. And it's a matter of waiting for the parts to come in. We're waiting for those powered louvers that are on the outside of the domes. So until those come in, we really can't complete the whole job. But they've got the old MCC out now. They've got all the cabling permanently run under the building, and it's looking very good right now.
And the cost for the sludge return boxes, that's been calculated into the totals for the state of emergency, because I know we're gearing up to go apply for a loan to cover that state of emergency. Those numbers have been included even though it's not completed, right?
That's right. We haven't been
Okay.
invoiced yet, but it has been budgeted.
They have been budgeted, okay. And this, I'm just going to ask you, I know what the answer is, the senior center renovation, that is covered through?
The grant that we received.
That's great. Okay. Anybody else?
In the drawing, and there's a divider curtain, that's all they need for that little space?
For the foot care?
Yeah, they need
Yes.
a room or, no, okay.
Yeah, that is, in fact, I'm glad you brought that up. After reviewing the drawings, one of the suggestions that I'm making, I'm gonna sit down with the senior club to discuss it with them as well. But where the storage closet is located, that hall doorway will be eliminated. But what I'm going to propose is that we actually switch the foot care and the storage so that the storage is at the back of the space rather than in the middle of the space. So when the curtains open, you'll have open space right up to the storage closet.
That makes more sense. So big storage.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't know, I guess my only question would be like, was there feedback from the group that would be using it as far as the?
I met with the committee chair and with Kathy, the programmer. We went over it. We're going to be having another committee meeting early in December where we'll look in detail at the drawings with the rest of the committee. I'm going to meet with Jan to get his take on it from a fire perspective. But I've met with the electrician. I'm just meeting with a bunch of different groups to make sure that we get as many eyes on it as possible.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good plan, everybody's looking at it, and, it's a good idea, Tammy, having everybody that's gonna be using it, and, or involved, have a look at it, so. It's all good.
Okay, we'll move on. We've got a lot to cover again tonight. Director of Operations report, traffic parking bylaw.
We just updated the traffic and parking bylaw to accommodate, we've added a few no parking areas around town of the handicap parking at the Anglican church, the no parking on Ontario Street in front of the school. But under the old bylaw, you had to list individual parking spots as part of that bylaw. So instead, we've made the parking bylaw more friendly and referring to the Highway Traffic Act, regulatory approved signage as described in the Ontario Traffic Manual, Book 5. If it's posted with a legal sign, then you shouldn't need to list each individual parking spot. Further, this is still going to be a temporary one because as the bylaw stood, there's no fees
Yeah.
associated with any of it. So to update it, to make it more current, there's quite a process that has to happen. It's gotta be submitted to the Attorney General. The Superior Court judge reviews the bylaw, makes any recommendations to us. So it's a process. So in the interim, we've just updated the existing policy to get us through until we update it properly through the proper channels.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
The bylaw officer did approach me, regarding the changes to this particular bylaw. So one concern that she had was that, and again, this is gonna be all, council's decision, we have a handicap parking bylaw separate to a traffic bylaw. So it's a matter of whether council would like to combine them or leave them separate.
Combine.
Okay, so that's good. The other thing is that at the school, so these are the signs that are posted in front of the school, but they don't match. So there is confusion as to what we're actually saying. Are we saying that you can't park between, you only cannot park between 7 and 5? Or is it all night? So
Oh, yeah,
so she's just asking, I don't know if you wanna pass those down, if, you know, the signage could be unison or, yeah, and match from end to end of, in front of the school.
This
Which
is
I
on
believe-
one pole, this is on another pole on the same side.
So Tammy has looked into the signage to make them both uniform.
That's just what we have in stock, so we installed that because of the situation we were under, but, I did order new signs at a cost of $246 for the 2 signs.
My understanding is we don't want any parking from the corner to that far pole at all.
From the intersection, Winnipeg
right.
intersection to the bus loading zone, no parking
At all.
at all.
I don't care what time.
Right.
Perfect.
I have one request. You know those flip signs that we got?
Yep,
This spring, can we flip them up?
that's was the intention of the signs, yes.
Okay.
Whoops.
Yeah, they're like the
Calendar
calendar
parking.
parking, they open, but we got like ones where calendar parking is done, then you push it back up and then there was our logo on it, but they just stayed down all year. I was the only one who noticed, it drove me nuts. Okay, that's my request. Don't do it now, because now we're in.
No, we're in.
Parking, yeah.
Thank you.
Since we're talking about signs, can I make a request? Can I have to Dave's? That back lane that joins Winnipeg Street to Perry Street. We've heard another complaint. Is there a way that we can put a stop sign on both ends?
Winnipeg to Perry.
Is that the one behind the post?
What?
So it's the big lane, Tammy, behind the post office, behind Breeze. It's that big lane that runs from one end to the other.
Like Dallas Capella.
Okay, it's not as simple as just slapping the stop sign up. I'll consult my book 7 on regulatory signs and see if we meet the qualifications to do that. Unless you make it a one-way back lane, that might complicate it, but, cause it's not a 2-lane, I have to look at it.
Okay, can
I'm
you do
not
that?
sure.
That just reminds me of another thing I was thinking of.
Sorry,
Terry.
And it's around the same.
They may as well put them in all back things.
I was thinking, just because I drop my kid off at dance all the time and there's kids running
I know.
across the street and stuff, and we do have a splash pad down there, I'm wondering if, would it hurt to put up like a kids playing sign or something like that, just to, cause people zip around that corner when it's not full of snow and kids sometimes have to cross the street to get into the car and, just a thought I was having as well.
No, that's not bad.
Something else to look.
And speaking of dance children, I watched one young mother grab her kid out for getting ran down on that.
Yeah, and when you're turning off Scotia to come on.
No, from that back lane.
Oh,
Half
and
ton
the
truck.
back lane's a death trap. Yeah.
She grabbed her quick, and she was this far from the bumper.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, Director of Operations report Aqua capital requests for the 2025 budget.
So Aqua has submitted their, request for capital. And, I have their list color coded. The blue, is part of the operating budget for water. And, the yellow would be capital expenses.
So Aqua's requesting a total of $52,500 in capital for water and $5,000 in capital for sewer. That's what it's amounting to, right, Tim?
Yeah.
They possibly need capital. They possibly need for capital and sewer.
15 in sewer, right? Oh, for capital, I'm sorry.
capital.
Yeah, yeah.
Chlorinator parts, apparently.
Yeah.
Ask your director of operations.
That's not something we've just bought already?
The, chlorinator replacement parts?
Yeah.
So we have, they're consumables, first of all, you have to understand that the chlorinated parts are consumables. For the water treatment plant, we did just buy some in this year for the water treatment plant. You cannot bring parts from the water plant to the sewer or sewer to the water, cause you'll cross-contaminate. So we also have chlorine down at the wastewater plant that we chlorinate during the summer months. We have consumables that happen down there as well.
Okay. We're gonna go with Tammy's recommendations on this first page.
So just looking at the recommendations, I see in the recommended column, the online UPB pH and chlorine analyzers, which I think is obviously a great idea considering our increases are based a lot around chemical costs. But we're not recommending we do a coagulant study. Is it, you just don't see any value in that, or what's the thought process behind that?
So the coagulant study was completed to some degree during the recent filter study. They have changed up the coagulant as a result of that filter study. What they're suggesting is that we try and use that coagulant for a year or two to see how it reacts in with the cold water. Last year we didn't really have a cold winter, so we're suggesting that we hold off on the coagulant study for another year.
There was some change made.
Yeah,
That's the pass, right?
yes.
Okay.
So another recommendation, unidirectional flushing and valve exercise. I know last year we thought we could accomplish the flushing with the public works group and save $10,000, and that didn't happen this year for reasons beyond our control. But is that something that can be looked at for 2025, or is that already a done deal?
For 2025, it is something that we can look at. I just got another recommendation from Aqua yesterday, actually, and the fella that came in from Espanola that did our flushing, he's recommending that the valves be exercised and turned separately from the hydrant maintenance. And then he doesn't feel that it's compulsory that we do the unidirectional flushing because our water mains were very clean. So I'm still talking to them about that. But we do have them doing both together. So even if we don't do the unidirectional flushing, I think we can still do the valve exercising and the hydrant maintenance at the same time, cause you're flushing when you're operating your hydrants.
Right.
So we'll fine tune that. We're still talking about it, but there's possibilities.
Okay.
So that was a recommendation.
The unidirectional flushing they didn't feel was necessary for our town because the mains are extremely clean. There was no dirty water.
And I was just gonna ask Jan something, I know you're probably too busy to notice or anything like that. But no, we just did $500,000, if not more, worth of work down at that end of the street where the fire was. And then I ask you too, Tammy, have we had any complaints about dirty water since
Since we relined the main?
no, since the action of the fire
Oh,
with the big water use and everything, so, because if you're gonna have dirty water, it would probably be at that point in time, so if we haven't had complaints and again, I wouldn't expect you to notice.
I heard nothing and nobody's commented.
No, I mean,
It
I've
would probably
never
be
seen
worth
it.
asking a few residents.
that's a win-win if,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, no, I was just, when we were talking about it, we put a lot of money into, the mains down in that area, Ontario Street, that's good to hear.
So Tammy, you're looking for us to give you authorization to bring this is gonna come, how we're gonna pay for this is gonna come part and parcel of the complete capital budget as we get working on that.
yes. In previous years, you passed one resolution that covered everything on this capital list, and that was really convenient. Last year, we did it by individual resolutions again, and it becomes cumbersome for you guys as well. So, once we pass the Aqua Capital, I would ask for just the one resolution. Melinda?
Yeah, I mean, once council passes the budget, like the operating and the capital, no further resolutions are necessary. Because the resolution to adopt the bylaw covers everything in it.
Are you looking for that resolution for the capital for water and sewer tonight?
No.
Okay. All right, but yes, when we do it, you wanna make one?
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, number 6, number 6, Aqua expenditure request.
So this is a result of the 2024 water inspection report. It was identified that the maximum flow rate exceeds the operational capacity conditions on each filter. So those parameters were, you get them, but you had to pay Automation Now to come in the back end of SCADA to get you the data. So with this amount, 2,888, Automation Now will come and add the trending to SCADA and will also add alarms. And that will satisfy the recommendation put forth by the water inspector.
Yeah, I don't,
And you have this money in your budget right now, right, Tam?
It was not budgeted in
But we've got it.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I hate that 10%.
what's that?
I hate that 10%.
Yeah, I know.
Makes sense to do it. I guess the only question I have is there any other enhancements or anything else we need to do to the system when we get them down to open it up? Because these types of computer systems, every time you need to alter them, there's fees. So is there anything we can take advantage of as far as other improvements when they come to do this, or?
Nothing comes to mind. We did just go through this with automation now in 2024, where we eliminated a lot of the nuisance alarms to eliminate a lot of the call outs and made it much more efficient on the SCADA end. So nothing comes to mind, but I will definitely ask the operators what they think.
They're definitely gonna be around for a month or two anyway. So we're good with it then?
I would recommend spending that money.
I agree.
Okay, number 7. Recreation program and report for the Christmas Jamboree Parade Road closure.
So the last council, Evan had presented a report, with this idea of the Christmas Jamboree. And part of that was holding a parade, that would partake in crossing Highway 17. So he did work with Tammy in regards to, Book 7 and what type of closures, needed to be made. They have mapped it out, it's part of your package. So tonight, just looking for council to approve the recommended closures and letters that would be sent to the OPP and I believe it was the fire department.
Just to add to that, for crossing Highway 17, we're asking the OPP to assist us with that closure, because it's, 5-10 minute crossing for us. But if we do the traffic control ourselves on Highway 17, it becomes quite an elaborate setup. Because you can't do traffic control with multi-lanes, you'd have to close one lane with cones and arrows and all the proper signage. So if the OPP help us, that just makes it that much more efficient crossing the highway.
Makes sense.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yep.
Okay, number 8. Occupational health and safety minutes. September 17th.
Tammy, can you provide an update on some of these items under unfinished business?
Yep,
Please and thank you.
contractor addressed the issue of the leaking in room 111 and at the municipal complex. We are expecting the contractor to still arrive to fix that location. And the front steps, the water cooling at the front steps will also be taking care of this in the very near future. The accessibility ramp at the front of the municipal complex has been completed. The expired AED pads have been replaced, and so has the battery been replaced in the AED here. The front automatic door switches at the public library, our contractor had a look at those, and we think that we've got it fixed. The temperature was a big factor in that, so we'll try his remedy to see if that takes care of it. The concrete steps at the medical center has been completed. The arena roof is completed. The window has been replaced at the rec center. And the hot water tank at the recreation complex is added to the 25 budget for consideration.
Thank you, Tammy.
Questions? Okay, economic development minutes, October 28th.
One change, to our committee, the vice chair is no longer on the committee. there was a resignation submitted for that, so. So we are looking for volunteers, I think we have room for three volunteers, so we discussed that last night, and we were putting out, some requests on social media for volunteers for that committee. And, we're trying to define, what our brand is gonna be going forward. Yeah, we had a pretty good discussion on that last night, was our meeting. And, so, everybody's gonna come back with some ideas for next meeting. And we're getting together once a month, the last Monday of every month now, so, there's lots of buy-in from the committee to keep the momentum going, so. Anything, Anne Marie, you wanna add?
Yep, I think that covers it.
Okay.
Okay, Schreiber Fire Department activity report, May and June.
I just have one question, Jan, about your phone truck or your phone trailer.
Yes,
That was dispatched to CN in Hearst.
yes, it was.
Is that like an agreement you have with Canadian CNR? Or?
It's an agreement we have with CP, who
Okay.
put it into a Canada-wide agreement through Emergency Response Canada and through just kind of general, all the railway companies share resources. And we're actually the closest resource to that CN rail line as far as phone trailers go. So CN requested it from CP, and CP phoned us that afternoon, and we dispatched it up.
So
And then
did they come and pick it up, or?
we brought it all the way up there. We sent a crew of 4 men with portable pumps and the phone trailer up, and we build CN.
Okay, so you build CN for that.
Yeah, we build them at the MTO rate for the full 23 hours, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So that came into around $20,000.
Well, nice to have that shared service for sure.
Jen, I see your responses by emergency type totals to the end of the third quarter at 90. How does that compare to last year? Are we up or down, the same?
We're about the same as last year. The last 3 years in a row, we've been well over 100 to 115 calls a year. The call volume has been going up the last 10 years. There's a chance, I think last year we were somewhere around 112, 113 off the top of my head.
By the end of the year?
So as of today, we're at 102. So there's a chance that we're either on par or over again this year.
Right, July and August.
And pumper 1 was returned to service.
Yes, that's the one that was involved in the fender bender last October.
Right.
So it's back and performing well.
May as well look at September and October too.
How are we doing for membership, Jen?
It's been steady all year. We're at 19 right now. Generally, there should be 24, so we've got 5 or so open spots. We do have 1 or 2 people that are somewhat inactive. The core group right now is about 12 people. And we we'd like to find a few more.
So how do you go about your recruitment, Jan, just out of curiosity?
Either we put out posts looking for new members, or generally, being such a small community, we ask around who might be interested. We've gained quite a few railroaders in the last 12 months. Guys that have come into town and just done their conductor's course. So. That was just by asking guys that work on the railway. It's like, you know anybody that would be interested?
So the minor derailment here in town,
Yes.
how quick were you called out for that?
We weren't at all, actually.
Oh, you
It
weren't?
took quite a while, actually. We noticed it ourselves.
So you should have been called out earlier. Or,
Well, they should have, I think, at least notified a few people
yeah, because it was a dangerous.
because of the placarded car that was on the ground there.
Yeah,
So now, thankfully, that turned out to be a residue car,
yeah.
which is great, but you don't know until you go check the manifest. So, and as we did do that, we pulled the manifest and we went into a computer app we have that takes the rail car number and gives us,
Yeah.
where it was last loaded and where it's coming from, where it's going, all that.
So CP received some feedback from the fire department on.
They have, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, we'll move on to number 13, then the Rossport and Nickel Island renewal, and we'll let Jan speak to the Rossport fire agreement bylaw.
This is a renewal of last year's 12-month agreement. We did a 12-month last time because we had brought Nickel Island into the agreement, and we weren't sure what was going to happen with the costs for the service board for heating and maintaining the building over the last winter. In discussions with them, they were fine with what happened. The money that came in from Nickel Island to the Rossport Service Board through the three-way agreement more than covered all expenses for the building to keep it operating. So they were happy with that, and now they've both asked for a slightly longer agreement. So I told them I would go for 24 months on this one, and see how it went, because I don't think last winter was exactly a great example of a typical winter. It was not a lot of snow out there, not a lot of severe weather. I said I would bring it forward and ask for 24 months on this, and the wording is exactly the same as the previous one.
That's it.
I'm good with it.
I'd like to ask, why not even a small increase?
I think it's because we were under budget on everything down there, as far as the heating and maintenance costs. No other reason other than that.
Okay. Because I agree with you. If we get a severe winter and the cost of fuel and everything going up, I'm just wondering if you're going to live to regret this. It's just a question, Jen.
Yeah, no.
Honestly.
I'm just
I'm not saying you
calculating.
need to. I'm just a question.
I think without taking a peek at the actual books, because I don't have those here with me, I think the money was $5,600 coming in to operate the building down there. Of course, that comes from Nickel Island to the service port.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see a whole lot of that unless I go ask. But I know it wasn't close. Like the operating cost
Okay.
on the building came in at
Okay.
$3,000. So I think they came away in the plus down there.
Okay.
So I wouldn't expect us to have like a 20, 30, 40% increase in costs.
Okay. But you'll monitor that for the next year?
I will, yeah.
Okay.
Are you good with it? bring it forward for next meeting. Okay, number 14, report fireworks bylaw.
I wasn't even aware we had this.
This,
feel like
this
I
one's
feel
been a
like a
long
ninny.
time coming. I've been, mentioning for a few years that we need a new one and to update this.
So Jen, you mentioned in here that if I wanted to put those funny little boxes of fireworks that you could buy at the store and run them at my house, that I would need to go and get an application from you, from the fire department.
If it wasn't one of the, days listed in the bylaw where it's, you don't need a permit. So there
Okay,
are a group of
So let's say it's my
holidays.
birthday, which doesn't happen to be a
On
holiday.
one of those holidays, then you would be able to just go get a permit for it.
And is there gonna be a fee for that permit?
Yeah, there is.
There is gonna be a fee. So if I disregard your bylaw and don't get a
Yeah.
permit, is there going to be a charge?
Well, there's a set fee or a fine schedule
Okay,
at the back.
yeah,
So, the fines vary here from $300 to $500.
so the answer is yes.
Yes.
If I don't get a permit
Yeah.
and I discharge fireworks, then there's going to be a
Then there's
charge.
a chance that there's a ticket coming.
And who will be the one responsible for laying those charges? By law or the fire department?
It's the fire department.
Okay.
It's the same as if I give you a ticket for, a bonfire in the summer fire season or against the burning bylaw or like our ticket. We had carry ticket books in the trucks. Most
Right.
people don't realize that, but we do give tickets for no smoke alarms in houses and provincial offense notices.
And the only other question I have, and then I'll let you guys go, is this updating the noise bylaw. I think that noise control bylaw needs to, I agree with you, needs to be done hand in hand with this one.
Yes.
So are you gonna make a move to update that at the same time?
That one's a little bit outside my purview. But
Okay.
I'm certainly willing to work with
Wanda?
the other departments on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I just had a question. I did not realize there would be a charge for, like a fee for the permit for the fireworks.
I think we'd have to refer back to our fees bylaw on that one,
Okay.
just to see what
I'm
we,
just thinking if there is, then we should include it in the bylaw.
yeah, and if we don't have anything listed in the fees bylaw, then, there's certainly nothing here other than saying you need the permission and the permit, then,
Well, I get a burning permit for my, for the little fire pit I have in the backyard. There's a fee for that.
yes, there is.
Yeah.
It's 2% putting on fireworks.
It is different.
Much longer span of time you can have a fire.
Then you can put out fireworks.
Yeah,
I
then,
agree.
yeah, a fire permit would be specific to certain dates,
For that,
and there's more risk with the fireworks.
yeah. I just,
So you guys go ahead. Those questions I had. I didn't even know we had this.
yeah, I just don't know what that dollar value would be to.
To obtain a permit to have fireworks on your birthday?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you need a dollar value? Like, or you
I don't know, I'm just
say,
asking
hey,
if
heads
there-
up, I'm gonna have.
No, I'm just asking, is there one? That's all.
Yeah, I know. I'm just. Okay. I don't know.
I don't
We'll have
see
to
it.
come back with an answer for you.
Yeah. I know. Do you think? Yeah, I don't, it seems like impossible to enforce. You set off firework? No. Okay. You know, like seems hard for you. Someone calls you and says, hey, so-and-so was setting off fireworks last night. You go talk to them, were you setting off fireworks last night? No. Okay. Like, how do you, yeah.
There's,
Yeah,
I have caught a few people.
okay.
So, you can't catch everybody.
I know, I don't, I legitimately don't care about
Yeah.
finding people for fireworks. It's just, I just don't want you running around town on an impossible mission trying to, because people are complaining now that this is in existence, you know? Like, I don't want you wasting your time on something.
Well, and I agree with you. You know what? You're exactly right. So if this is moving forward, then I think this needs to be like front and center on our website, right? Letting people know, hey, we've got a bylaw for this now.
Yeah, like, it's easy for you to enforce someone burning during the day, because you get called from the smoke from their yard.
I think the big thing to contrast it with is this permits would happen without the permit, so to speak, on the national holidays, you know, like New Year's and
Like, yeah,
Canada Day, whereas the previous two bylaws completely restricted it from ever happening.
except on those.
Never.
Oh, never.
You were never allowed to.
Oh,
So, and it actually, in the previous bylaws, set fines and penalties as well, and we were never able to enforce those either. But at least now it's become a little more permissible, and you can just ask for a permit now.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
so it makes it a little easier to enforce.
Okay, yeah.
So what do you wanna do with that one? Bring it forward, or just continue working on it, or pass it?
Yeah, you guys said you were gonna talk about a number, or if you need a number, like a dollar number.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe just saying you need a permit.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I don't think it need a dollar.
Is that going to be okay with you, Rhonda, for your fee schedule? If we just leave the bylaw saying there is a permit required?
Yeah, for sure. It's not in the fees bylaw.
Okay.
Okay.
I would say bring it forward.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
But when it's finalized, we should, honest to goodness, spend some time on letting the public know
That it's
that we actually have this now.
Okay, number 15, fire safety plan boxes.
all right. This is kind of just a modernization to kind of bring us in line with where current things are at in the province. These are the little red and white boxes that you find at the front of apartment buildings. There's already one at the front of Collingwood Court. The public school has one. I'm sure the separate school has one in the front of their lobby that contain the fire safety plan for the building. Right now, under the fire code, you have to have a plan, and it has to be an approved plan, and it has to be readily accessible, but there's no definition of what readily accessible means or where it goes. So what most communities have done is they've passed a bylaw similar to this, saying that the front of a building will have a fire safety plan box near the front door. And what happens with it is the plan is in there, it is locked, and then the fire department opens the box and takes the plan out when an incident happens.
Just add to that too, it would also house, you know, a set of keys for that particular building, so that the fire department would not have to wait for staff to let them in somewhere or whatever, right?
Okay.
So you're saying entrances of select buildings.
So there is only a group of select buildings that this would apply to. Assembly buildings,
Would
large,
assembly
tall
buildings include the Legion?
I'm not off the top of my head familiar with what their capacity limit is.
Would it include the Catholic Church?
Yeah, it would include the church. It would include the rec center.
Okay. School gyms.
It would, well, the schools as a whole.
Okay.
They are existing already. It would include any apartment building
Okay.
with more than 10 in it. 10 residents, not 10 units.
And Jan, what is considered a high occupancy mercantile building? Is that every store is gonna need one of these?
No, that, I believe the definition of that is over 300 people in there. I don't think we have any that would fit that.
So it's not gonna hit our restaurants?
No.
Okay. So my second question would be, are we gonna provide assistance in preparing this plan for some of these buildings, or are we expecting that they're gonna get this fire plan done themselves?
Yes, we do.
Yes, you do
we
provide
ha-
assistance?
We have that document. Most of the hotels have already had one since the 1990s. This is just a matter of them putting it in the box instead of preparing one.
Okay.
We do have a document on how to write one
Okay,
that we can give people if this were to suddenly apply to their business or their building. And there will be a couple of buildings that will, like especially 2 or 3 apartment buildings, that will have to put this box in.
okay, so this is not just intended for the municipal office, it's intended for all these select buildings in the community.
That's correct.
And you're going to, when we enact this bylaw, are you going to go and visit these people and help them with this?
Yes, well, the first step would be making sure they have the plan,
Okay,
because if they're not aware that they need one, they need to write one,
okay,
and then they would have to install the box in front of the building.
okay. So this is going to, you're looking to pass a bylaw and then slowly enact it, you don't expect.
Oh
these
yeah,
people
no,
to
no,
have one
like,
overnight.
no, there's a period of education and,
Okay.
and assisting them with it to meet compliance.
Now, do you have questions? No?
Okay, and I see you got a copy of the bylaw there, the proposed bylaw, so, yeah, we can bring it. Okay, number 16, Aqua Water and Wastewater Treatment System Report. Anything stands out of you, Tammy, other than what we already know?
The report looked fine to me.
Okay,
Those chemical orders.
yeah.
Woo.
So we'll move on to number 17, the F-250 then.
That's a public works truck, a 3/4 ton. It is, in dire need of a set of brakes. I am already over budget on that GL. We're over by $646. I've included the GL printout as an attachment. We need minimum 1835 for the brakes, and if we do the oil change at the same time, it's probably gonna be 2,000.
This F-250 is specific, what is this truck?
That's the red one.
The red one?
The big one.
The big one? Okay,
Well, the
It's a
3/4
3/4
ton.
ton.
the 3/4 ton?
Yeah.
So this is a truck we're using,
Oh, yeah.
okay. And the last time brakes were done, Tam, do you even know?
They can't remember the last time they were done.
Then that's, so that's long enough, yeah.
I mean, it's-
We can't talk
we
about
gotta find the money
brakes.
somewhere, I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind of an important thing.
yeah.
Gotta be safe.
It's not terrible.
No, for that
Pretty
size of
fair.
truck, it isn't a terrible.
Pretty fair.
Yeah,
I think. 'So.
you don't want a guy running around with no brakes, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want a guy running around with no brakes. For goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want a guy running around with no brakes.
Okay. Get him to order them up if he has to.
Okay, thank you.
And go into communications then.
Number 5.
I think number 5 and number 6.
So number 5 is? Township and Terrace Base, workshop ambulances? That's the one you're looking at?
This other one, number 6, did we, I mean, that was a normal letter. Did we not support that already, or,
We could have, Dan.
yeah?
No.
It's a silver grant.
Okay,
No.
we'll support this one.
If we haven't, then yeah, we'll support it.
I think we have for the other, the tax and that.
There's 3 or 4 letters that are all the same resolution, yeah.
That's more manageable communications list. Okay, hearing no others talk on the communications, we'll move on to unfinished business. The 2024 Township Christmas Social.
Coming fast.
So council will need to decide whether they wish to provide a designated driver service for the social, and if so, who will provide the service?
So one last year,
Yeah, I did it.
was it well used?
Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah. So,
I can do it again. I'm gonna be there. Benji, you got your name on the license already. So I don't think you wanna leave. I did the DD last year, and there were lots of people that used it.
Okay,
They thought it was cool driving in my Jeep, which might in fact be decorated. You never know.
and keep it decorated.
I'm telling you, for my
Right.
drive.
You know what, right into the new year.
No highway trash.
When all these lights come flying off. Okay, yeah, I think, I did it last year, well, it was used, honestly.
Okay, that was easy. Quote for decorating the hall from Northern Chick, Nora, is attached for council's review. I'm good with it.
Yeah, that falls in line with what we discussed.
What was, don't mind me asking, is that the 600 bucks? The decorations?
The extras, yeah, and the backdrop.
Okay.
That's within, right, an acceptable check. It's not like we're spending thousands of dollars.
No. I don't think so.
So she's setting up tables and then doing the decorating. And these trees and balls and lanterns she has, right? We're not buying them, but she has them. And that's included in that?
That's from either. The rentals are from either. Membership.
All the table coverings, centerpieces, backdrop, all the decorations are from Edith.
We're
renting them.
That's just for
We
decorating,
talked
for
about
putting them
that
up.
last meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that rental amount covers that.
This was just to get somebody set them up.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, Sylvie.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and I skipped one, sorry, Christmas party, the event planner. Is there, did you want any conversation on that, like
No.
we missing?
No.
Um, mail strike could be problematic. But we'll wait and see. Okay, so that's all we were asking for there. And so we'll go into number 2, administration fees.
So we talked about this at a previous meeting a couple of weeks ago, that we got some complaints from the user groups about, I forget, what's the percentage, 50%?
It's 15% of the amount of the invoice to a maximum of $25.
So essentially, just because the people that rent our arena, they're gonna get an extra $25 a month for the duration of their usage, right? Cause they're never gonna. So I interpreted it as a one-time thing, personally. I don't see how, what that $25 goes to monthly from an administration standpoint to mail out a bill. But you guys can tell me otherwise. I'm not thinking the same as you.
Is it for each invoice, Rhonda?
It's not unheard of. I mean, we get it from our different companies we work with all the time.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just,
I mean, I really have a hard time with this. You put $451,000 into that arena last year. 350 of it was through a grant, which we can't say who the provider was or anything like that, and the rest is our dime.
but it's not just for the arena rent, it's for everything. You rent the hall, you pay an extra $25.
Cemetery.
I'm struggling with it personally, but I mean, I'm just one of us, so.
I think that, for me, the question is the administrative fee to cover costs of administration, or should we just raise the fees?
And that's basically what the user groups at the arena are saying, like, if you want us to pay more for the ice, then justify it, but it's, here's an administration fee, where didn't really explain what the administration fee is for. It's just, this is the fee. There's no breakdown to what the money's for.
So they're okay with the ice fees.
Yeah, I have no complaints about any ice.
Well, last year it was keep raising the ice fee and we'll go to Terrace Bay. So, I mean.
Well, I didn't hear that.
So, I mean, there's.
Well, let's answer the question. Rhonda, explain what this administration fee is for.
So, to be honest, I wasn't here when this bylaw was brought forward to council, but in most communities that have these administration fees, it is to cover the cost of the paper, the cost of the printer, the cost of the envelopes, the cost of the postage, the cost of the staff to produce that invoice and forward it on to the user.
So could we not give our user groups an option to have an email sent to them?
It's still, this staff has to,
Still takes staff time.
yeah.
$25 worth of time?
I'm not justifying it. I'm just.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
I mean, look at the one vendor that charges us 10%.
No, I know. It's just, it just seems like we're nickel and dime, and then 14 kilometers away they're not. And it's just a bad look. And I get it. I get what you're saying. It just seems something.
I mean, I don't know, we get the arena top notch and everything, and you know, what about the PA system? What about this? What about that? It's just frustrating, With up to $15.
I don't know what a number that is gonna make people happy. It's just. I'm just saying. I rent, as a resident, I rented the gym for 2 hours and paid an extra $25. For what, I don't know. I got a bill for $180, I got an administration fee for $25, so cool. Why?
So you'd rather see the administration fee built into the service charge then?
I think it's cleaner that way. But,
Or break it down.
yeah, or just make it make sense to me.
Like,
25 minutes for somebody to do
Yeah.
it, then.
Like, there's
what's
no,
25,
yeah,
what's, you know.
so you just wanna add down the invoice, 25%
I don't know,
for.
I don't know, I don't care personally, I understand what he's saying, I understand what Ron is saying. If there's concern over it, that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, just a little note on what it's for.
Wow,
it's just they raise their concern, we kind of fluff it off.
$25, you're basically saying that it took somebody, and I don't know what their wages are, but an hour to repair that invoice. And that would be the way I view it. Which is probably a little bit. But
Linda, what are your thoughts on this $25 administration fee? I mean, we passed the bylaw, right? We moved these, we agreed to this.
I don't think it should be removed, it could be adjusted, but I mean, we need to recoup costs
and
somehow.
I agree with the administrative fee too, but so you can see where people are coming from. Or maybe not understanding it, like,
I think it was more the lack of understanding that frustrated people.
Do you think, so let me ask you this, do you think having a lesser fee will still frustrate them? Do you think that they're, do you think that there should be nothing, there should be something? It should be okay.
I'm thinking if there's something, it needs to be explained. Clearly.
What it's for.
What is this for, not just the line that says administration fee and the dollar next to it. Like a club or a group can justify their ice time because this is how many hours we used it. But I don't know how, they have to recoup that $25 from something.
Okay.
Because it's for our user groups that use the arena, for someone renting the hall, it's never not, the way it's written, it's never not gonna be $25. Like the 15%, I don't know when it's ever gonna be less than that. We don't rent much for less than $100-ish, right? You know? And then the user groups, there's people who use it over and over and over again. I just wanted to bring it up again.
Well, no, you should, because if residents are coming to you with concerns, you should bring it up again.
And we never really resolved the issue, that's why, as well. It's just kind of been left.
So thoughts then?
Looking for some sort of
Would-
resolution.
So for these user groups that use the facilities over and over and over again, would it be fair to put up a maximum on the maximum, if that makes sense? Like, for somebody that uses a facility 5 months out of the year, would it make sense to, say we're gonna cap it at $125 or something? I don't know, like.
That would yearly
Like
administration.
yearly maximum, as
Like
well,
yearly
I don't
fee.
know, I'm just throwing things out there, but.
So I never thought about that, but you're right. If I'm a user and I'm using the arenas, I'm getting an invoice every month for 5 months, that's $125. Cause personally, I'm not against user, I like administrative fees, but
I
They-
agree with them as well.
they can be used to nickel and dime, you're right.
And I think it was communicated at a point where they had already set their fees, like hockey had set their fees, figure skating had set, and they didn't know they had this extra amount type of thing,
Right. And there's that.
which I think didn't help their attitudes towards it as well.
Probably cheaper than ice fees.
Hold on. I don't think, when was the date that we did all this? This would have been at the end of 2023.
Well, that doesn't mean that's when
No. No, it doesn't, you're right. I just wanted to see what date it was. My general thinking is, honestly, I get an admin fee. I don't know if I'm hearing the mayor right. A monthly invoice of $25 to prepare an invoice might be a little high, but I can see where they're using percentages, so I don't know, I guess is my answer.
Whatever council so chooses.
I've already suggested knock it down to a high of $15 per month or per bill.
For invoice, right?
Yeah.
Well, then
That's,
you might as well just get rid of that percentage, because if you look at our rental rates for everything, I think the cheapest thing is it's like 80-inch plus for the whole.
Room 124, that's pretty inexpensive, no, I think?
For that, you know, for the review administration to be on that. Which I don't understand.
Yeah. That's your suggestion, Mayor, just to drop that dollar value down, something that's more palatable?
again, I'll say it. If we don't do it this way, we put it on it gets put on the taxes and your pensioners get,
Or we,
I mean.
hindsight, we should've just increased the rental
Just
fee for the arena
it
by
just
a
goes a
month.
big circle.
If we wanted to recoup.
I mean, user
25
groups,
bucks a month.
should be
It just,
paying something.
it just looks.
Yeah, it's $80 an hour. Or 174. Or, I'm sorry, 24.
Right now, if I rented room 124, it would cost me $80 an hour.
Yeah.
Plus a $25 admin fee.
Well, it would be 15%.
15%.
So it's
Oh,
less
okay.
than off of that.
Okay, sorry.
But you're still looking at 90 bucks.
Let me ask you this then. Did we raise the ice rental rates this year? We did not.
We already, it's just, everything's super misleading when you look at how much everything costs to rent, because then there's this also this extra next to it.
So we're not just talking,
Yeah, but the arena fee like it most.
yeah. Because you won't rent a hall once a month.
No.
For every month and have 5 bills for $25 to rent a hall.
I don't know.
I like admin fees. I have no issue with dropping it from a max of 25 to a max of 15. I don't have an issue with that. But then I don't have an issue leaving it at 25. I don't know what you guys think. I know that's your suggestion. I don't know what you think, Ben.
I kind of feel the same. I would leave it pretty, I agree with you, I think they can a place for the admin fee, that does take somebody time to prepare that stuff. Whether it's hidden in the cost or shown as a line on the invoice, I think it makes a huge difference, but, yeah, I don't think I don't know if we completely chop it, but I don't know. I'd be okay with a maximum of 15, but like to Dave's point, then it's just gonna be 15, like, you know what I mean?
What do you think, Mr. Malone?
I think it's done, I would get rid of it. That's what.
You get rid of it altogether?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think there is a cost. There is a cost for administration, so I think lowering the cost of it is kind of a happy medium. I mean, we're trying to address the fact that $25 seems to be a lot of money for a lot of user groups, so if we do reduce it, I mean, it's not that we're not listening, so I think that's what we could do to improve things.
Because we're in the middle of the year, if that's what the overall consensus is at the end of this year, then maybe we'll look at the getting rid of the administration fee and looking at if they think that's, I mean, here we are talking about it, they're watching. If they think that's more transparent, we can put up the ice fees.
I think if someone scheduled a meeting and sat them all down, they would be more than happy in having that discussion.
That's an honest response. Why not?
Well, I got no problem with it either.
Yeah.
But a face-to-face discussion.
About just the user fee?
Well, just with the arena groups and whenever scheduling time is and all that, sit down at a table and talk about it.
And we could also.
So then there's no miscommunication, everything is
Yeah.
on the table, which is what they all want.
Yeah.
So they want to be said, this is your user fee, because this kind of snuck up on them, right?
Yeah.
They didn't know about the admin fee. So to have that conversation and explain it, you think is the best route?
100%.
Okay.
There's a few other things there. Anyway, yeah.
So what do we direct?
So next year, get Evan to schedule a user group meeting in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
August is fair enough, eh?
Okay.
Do it as soon as the ice comes out.
Hey,
Do it as soon as the ice comes out. Why wait till August? This is what we're thinking for next season. I mean, it's not like we don't know.
It's not really bad, but
no, they,
When's the ice come out? I'm sorry.
I'm like in April.
yeah,
usually
they
they
come out,
Why?
they come out first weekend of April.
Yeah.
How'd your arena season go? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? What can we do to make things better? But I don't know. If it's not for these user groups, we don't have an arena.
that's right. And we have,
100%.
and the mayor's right, we put a lot of money
And
into
we-
this arena.
And it's a
100%.
beautiful arena.
Yeah.
And a beautiful arena comes with a cost, and people gotta realize that.
And I think they
And
do.
ma and pa sitting at home every night, not going out to the arena, don't need to be paying the extras for it.
And that's a good opportunity to explain that to the user
Yeah.
groups.
But no, I'm good with the 15 for the rest of this year, and then talk about it, if that's what we wanna do.
I can do an amendment for 15, the remainder of the season.
Okay.
I'll bring it back to next council.
Good with that.
If you thought 15 was irresponsible, you would say so? Okay. He's not saying so, so okay.
Yep.
Do you want something on the next bill, like some blurb on the bottom of the bill explaining what this admin fee covers, Dave? Maybe that would be helpful.
An email to the user group.
Sure.
Would probably be helpful. And for someone randomly renting the hall, they would probably wanna know what the extra $15 is for, I
Okay.
guess, I don't know. I would've
Yeah.
personally.
I'll ask Evan tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so, resolution 2313-24. Moved by Councillor McGrath, second by Councillor Morrow, that the closed meeting resume at this time. All those in favor? Carried.